Hey guys, welcome back to another video. And today I'm going to show you how to create a multiplayer game from scratch using Unity. So I'm going to create a first-person multiplayer game, and I'm going to use a first-person controller from the standard assets pack. Okay, so first to get started, just head on to photonengine.com/ that's right now it's important. So photonengine.com with this page. So this page is like the Photon official website. First, you're just gonna click on sign in. Just gonna create one. Then just create an account and all that to start creating multiple games for free. So after you create your account, you will be redirected to your dashboard like this. So I already created the game here, but so this is where, so you shouldn't see this. You should just say create a new app. Just click on create new app. So if you have created apps with Photon, you'll see one here. So I'm just gonna click on create a new app. So you see you can change a lot of options. What I'm gonna change first is I'm gonna change the Photon type to Photon PUN, which stands for Photon Unity Networking. I'm just going to change the application's name to, I'm just going to call it Photon Tutorial. Next, you can just put on a description if you want to, but I'm not gonna like write any description. And then I'm just gonna click on create, and then you can like, so this app ID, you can just click on it and it's gonna reveal the whole app ID. For now, you can just minimize this window. Now you're gonna create a new project, a new Unity project, and then you're gonna go to your App Store and then search for PUN2 free. Then you're gonna install it, download and install the latest version of the package. I'm just gonna wait to download. Next, you should just import it. So just wait for it to pair package and then install it. So now I'm just gonna click on import. So we're gonna just import the package and all the necessary scripts and things. So for now, while it's importing, I'm gonna head back to the website of the Photon, and I'm gonna copy the app ID. I'm just gonna copy it. Next, I'm gonna go to the Unity. So yeah, I'm just gonna wait for it to import. So basically, I'm just gonna wait for the installation in Unity, and then it should show me a setup wizard for PUN2, and then I'm gonna input the app ID. You'll see. So firstly, it's importing all the demos. You can check them out, and Photon is actually simple to understand, so you should understand that. So here, after this, you should automatically see a wizard like this. If you don't see it, just click on Windows, Photon Unity Network, and PUN Wizard, and it should show exactly the same thing. Then you just click on Setup Project. There you go. Next, you're just gonna paste the app ID like that. So it's the app ID I have here. And close this window already. Next, I'm just gonna click on Setup Project. And click Close. I'm gonna change the PUN logging to full. Okay, so now firstly, I'm just gonna make sure everything's set up. You can just set up everything already. So for now, well, the main, we're gonna have to create two scenes. First one is gonna be the game scene. Then another scene is gonna be the main menu. I mean, the menu is a very important scene where the players can join matches, so like that. So I'm just gonna, you can open up your browser again, and I'm just gonna open up documentations. And here I can search for. So first I'm just gonna go to the main menu scene, and I'm just gonna go to 2D. I'm gonna create a UI. First, I'm just gonna install the standard assets. Standard assets. And here those standard assets for Unity 2018.4. Import. Okay, so it's decompressing the package. Okay, by the way, if you need any help, join our Discord server in the link in the description. You can ask our staff for help. So okay, after you import the package, import it, and yeah. Okay, so there's a lot of things. So I'm just gonna. So this is the. I'm just gonna make sure to go to PUN. It's free download. It's gonna just redirect to this package. You can also do it like that. I'm just gonna go to documentation, PUN intro. So this is. This is how you should basically connect using settings. This is what we're gonna use. So right now I'm just gonna wait for the standard assets pack to import, and then we can continue writing all the script and creating the scene. Okay, still waiting. It might take a while, so just take a break for now. Okay, so it's already importing like a lot of stuff for now. So I'm just gonna wait more a bit. If you're interested, what type of project, this is just a 3D project. It doesn't use HDRP or LRP. None of that. It just is just a standard 3D Unity project. This will also work for 2D games, but I'm gonna create a 3D multiplayer game. But if you want to, you can make it a 2D too. So right now, you might get this little error here. It's actually fairly simple to fix. All you have to go is to go to Utility in the Standard Assets and remove the simple activator menu that's C#, and then boom, there's no error. Now all I have to do is I'm gonna create a UI element, and I'm gonna create a button. And then when you create a button, it's gonna create a canvas. Wait, it's importing some stuff. Let me do that. I should see a canvas and a button in the canvas. So it has a button. So I'm just gonna change the button's location to make it a bit bigger. And I'm gonna make it bigger like that. I'm gonna make it somewhere in the middle. And then I'm just gonna change the button's name to join random room. Okay, so I'm gonna change the text to join random room, and I'm probably just gonna change the font to Jurat Medium LB. Next I'm just gonna change it to best fit, and then like that. So now it looks good. I just don't like the sky background, so I'm just gonna change the solid color. Let's make it somewhere like like gray, like that. Now we got join random room here. This is just join random room. So now I'm just gonna click on the canvas, create a new script here, and just call it main menu canvas. And now here I'm just gonna open up Visual Studio. So now this is Visual Studio opened, and okay, here it is. Here it is, the script. I'm just gonna zoom in a bit so you can see what I'm typing. One very important is to add a using tag, and we're gonna call this photon.pun. Mono behavior PUN callbacks, which I can use callback methods like on, play, general, and all of that stuff. So now I'm just going to create a new function. It's going to be a public void and join random room. How inside of it, like that. I'm just going to go to Photon network dot join random room, and that's going to join a random room that is available on the current server. So now we're going to call this function with the button. Now what I'm going to do is, now I'm just going to do if photon network dot is connected. Only run that when it's connected. It's when the user is connected or the client is connected to the server or the network. I'm going to do else. And this is going to be Photon network to connect using settings. Then the user can connect the main Photon PUN settings. I'm just gonna parentheses and a semicolon. Next, I'm going to do public override void. This is a callback function, so we just reference the mono behavior PUN callbacks. Override void on connected to master. That's when connected to settings. All I'm going to do is I'm going to run this code. So you can copy it and paste it. Another callback function I'm going to do is I'm going to do public override void on join random failed. So this usually happens when you're trying to join a random room, but there's no random room found. So it's gonna run this inside this. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do photon network dot create room. So for this, I'm gonna need a room name. I can just make it nothing, just space, and then here is gonna be the photon room options. So I'm just gonna go new photon new room options, and then I'm just gonna add it brackets, not brackets, curly brackets. And then this is going to be max players, and I'm going to create another float on the script, public float, and then I'm just call it max, but which means probably byte. That's so max players, and let's make it 4 like that. Make sure it's on flow because flow don't work. Make sure it's public byte. Next, I'm just gonna equals max players, and then I can just end it with a semicolon. So now, if I go back to Unity, I see the script. Make sure that's very important, of course. And now I'm just gonna go to the join random room button, and I'm gonna scroll down to the on click event, and I'm gonna drag in the canvas. Next, I'm gonna make the main menu canvas, and then join random room. It's gonna run this function. So now I'm just gonna click on play, and then I'm just gonna click on join random room. And you see that right now it's just doing all that stuff, and this means that it's working correctly. It's not gonna redirect to the game scene because we didn't like reference anywhere the scene game. So now I'm just gonna save the main menu scene and go to the scene. I'm gonna create a plane, and then plane. This is the plane here. I'm gonna go to standard assets, characters, first person character, prefab, and then I'm just gonna drag in the first person controller. And then I'm gonna take this plane and I'm gonna make it bigger. Okay, so now I can take this first person controller, I can rename it to player, and I'm just gonna unpack the prefab completely. Okay, so now I'm just gonna, one thing, I'm gonna create an empty game object here, and I'm gonna call it network manager. Create a script on it called network manager, and then the script, it's gonna open up the script, and then I'm just gonna do it using Photon PUN. So the good thing is that we don't have to spawn the player from in this script. It already happens here. So we just, the Photon automatically doesn't destroy the object and load the main Photon server. So it can be instantiated almost anywhere. So I'm gonna create let's go start. I'm gonna do Photon network.instantiate, and then here I should do the name of the object. So public transform, and then spawn position, then just do public game object player, instantiate player at spawn pose, and then I forgot to continue the identity, which is just doesn't work without it. That identity. And if you get this, yeah, so just transform that name. This is transform that position, just like that. So now we have that. So I'm just gonna, so players can't no prefab at all. I'm gonna go over to the Photon. This step is very important. You should drag in the player in this folder, because it won't work if you drag into another folder. So now I'm just gonna go to network manager, drag in the player, and spawn pose. I'm gonna create another empty game object. I can just make it somewhere over here. Spawn pose, and next I'm gonna go to network manager game object and drag in the spawn pose into the spawn pose game object field, transform field. I can just delete this player because it's already a prefab. Here, spawn pose is already part of the now. Spawn pose. Network manager has all the fields, and now I'm gonna try it. Go to main. Another thing, go to main menu canvas. Then I'm just gonna do public override void on joined room. Now I'm gonna go to the file build settings, drag in both of those scenes. Main menu first, and then the second is gonna be the game. Next here, I'm just gonna select Photon network load level, then the index is 1, because all it starts 0 is like the first one and 1 is the second one. And now I'm just gonna try playing the game and see if it's gonna work. So I'm just gonna join random room, and boom. So oh yeah, okay. One important step is to end the player, and I'm just gonna drag in a photon view component. And then I'm just going to change the observation search to manual, and then I'm going to drag the transform into the observed components first field. Here we go. Now, if I play the game, if I like do this, I'd be able to be in the game. That nothing which I don't like is I just gonna remove this camera from here because it's a little glitch. I can't rotate my player. So I'm gonna turn now. Here we go. I can jump. I can run. Yeah, I can do a lot of different things. Okay. I'm gonna go to resources, open up the player prefab again. So right now it works, but if I go to build settings, build, then build the project, and here in the current folder, you will notice a slight problem. I'll show you what I mean. That's gonna be all of this. If you're interested on how to build for like PC or Mac, make sure to check out our video on the other video on our channel. We show how to build for Mac or PC. Okay, so it's done building, and I'm gonna show you what I mean by a slight problem. Wait. Oh, I get it. So the problem is, it's like the complete Photon tutorial. Okay, now I can. Okay, wait, sorry. Now it should. You can just make sure to select the folder you want to build. Make sure it's a valid folder. Wait, what? Maybe you have to build to a different folder. I'm just gonna create another folder here. I'm just gonna call it builds. Select folder, and I'm gonna build to the builds folder in the project folder. Okay. So now here it is. Have this. I'm just gonna run it. Another thing I don't want. I'm gonna change the player settings to windowed. Yeah. Now it's because I don't like that it's small, so you won't be able to see it. So I'm just gonna building resources folder. Here we go. I'm just gonna open up the exe file, and then I'm just gonna like create another here. Join both of them joins. Now they don't like. You see, they look like one player. No, I just walked to this corner, right? So I'm gonna go on the other player. He doesn't see it. So it's no problem because they can't really collaborate into one. Let's see now. So now I'm just gonna try doing that room from here. So here we got all these player spawn. So see right now, which one? So I'm just gonna delete this one. None of them actually see anything because they all have a different problem. To fix the problem, I'm just gonna the player prefab. I'm gonna create another script and then I'm just gonna call it mine check pun. Call it that. I created the script. Now I'm gonna use mine check pun, open it up, and then I'm gonna make sure to using Photon.PUN. And then we'll be here with pun without the callback now. And then I'm gonna create a public behavior an array with a behavior array. Let's call it player components. Like that, player components. And then here on the start I'm gonna do if photon view dot is mine. If like is player is a local player, it's gonna like remove all, it's gonna like enable all the player components. So I'm gonna do for loop where int I equals 0, I is less than player components dot length I plus plus. So now I can just declare components I dot enabled equal to true, and then I'm just going to take this, copy it, and then do else and do false. So this is a very basic script, so that's all there is to be right now in the script. I'm just going to leave the script like that. So now I'm just going to go click on the player, and then I'm going to add the player components. So the player component is going to be the first person controller, 1, connect the camera component on the camera, it's 2, and then 3 on the audio listener, so 3. I'm going to drag this first person controller like that, and then I'm going to drag in this. And next I'm going to lock this, create another inspector over here, and then select the camera. And then I'm going to drag in the audio listener of the camera. So now it's like that. I can just disable that, lock here, and then I can just click on File. I'm going to build a project again. So I'm going to build in the builds folder. So I'm going to try building again. And now, and another problem is that the player will not see each other because the player doesn't have any graphics attached to it. So I'm gonna go to 3D object, and then I'm gonna add a capsule. And then the player right now is white. That's not a problem. But anyway, I'm gonna add a different material. Let's call this player, and then let's make the player like bluish, like this. So now I'm like that. I'm gonna change like that, drag it like that. Next, I'm gonna go to try building the project again. Build, then build. Okay, so it's building it now, and it's building the resources folder, compiling, and then building player. Here is the exe file. Here we go. This is the. I'm gonna duplicate the window, create another window of the same game. And we join in the room, and see we have those players, and they can walk around, see each other, and this is how basic multiplayer works. And this player can walk around too. He can jump. He can then more advanced. You can implement shooting and all that. But this is basic multiplayer with Photon PUN. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe for more future videos like this. Thank you.